Hey, this is Crypto Wealth on YouTube, and today we're going to be talking about what is your private key? Can you recover your private key? Is it lost? And what is this whole saying about not your keys, not your crypto? So let's get into this. So first things first, it's important to understand like the private key aspect of cryptocurrency is really what makes it truly unique. Now, I got this diagram here to kind of show you sort of how a Bitcoin transaction will occur or a crypto transaction will occur. Your private key is associated with your wallet. When you want to send a transaction, you're going to send to a Bitcoin address. And of course, it goes through a public key. A lot of people think a Bitcoin address and a public key is the same thing, but it's not. They're closely related, but it's not the same thing. But with your private key, you send to a Bitcoin address. And again, mistakenly, some people call the Bitcoin address the public key, but it's not. Let me show you another way. I drew this crude diagram here. Your private keys, that's like your crypto is inside of your private keys. It's not technically inside of your private keys. Basically, what it is there's a type of cryptography that is used, and your crypto is associated with that private key. Nobody can get access to your crypto. They can't take it, in other words. They can't steal it unless they have the private key. But only you have that private key, or it's inside of your wallet. That's why you have a wallet and you can easily transact with it. The wallet, your private key is stored inside of your wallet. If you were to use a different wallet, you'll see where it says import a private key oftentimes. When you import a private key, you just simply type or use the private key. You let that wallet know what your private key is. The wallet is then able to go out on the blockchain and be able to track exactly what you have. But nobody, absolutely no one should see your private keys or get access to your private keys. Your private keys, okay, imagine owning a vault. That's why I drew it this way. Or owning a safe. If you put $100 in that safe and you have the combination to the safe, and nobody else has the combination to the safe at all, then nobody else can get access to your $100. But the moment you give someone that combination, or you store the combination in a notepad on your computer, which people do, which is dumb, and your computer gets hacked, or there's a virus, or there's a keylogger or something like that on your computer, and it figures out what your private key is, or the combination to the safe, then somebody else can go and open that safe. And once they are able to open the safe, they're able to get access to your funds. So if you're going to send a transaction, what you normally do is send to a wallet address. That wallet address is able to communicate through cryptography to the private key. So it's a way for you to send somebody funds without having to actually open the safe and put the funds in there. And likewise, someone can send back to you. They'll send to a wallet address. That wallet address is able to cryptographically communicate with your private keys. Those transactions are able, or that Bitcoin or that crypto is able to be stored or associated with those private keys. And I hope this is easy for you to understand. Now, there's a lot of interesting things about this that makes this radically different from traditional finance. In traditional finance, your bank account, let's imagine this is like your account. Your bank account is connected to your identification, not your private keys. Private keys don't exist. Which means if somehow someone gets access to your bank account, you can go to your bank and prove your identity, show them your identification or whatever, and they will give you access to your bank account. Oftentimes, in many cases, they may even restore funds that were lost because typically there was a bank error or a bank breach in security that caused the transaction to go through if someone took money out of your bank account. Or same thing with your credit card. If someone gets your credit card number, maybe same thing I said earlier, they hack your computer, they're using some sort of, spyware to find out where you're typing in your credit card online to make a purchase. They get access to your credit card info and they go start, on a spending spree somewhere in, I don't know, Malaysia or Zimbabwe. No offense to Malaysia or Zimbabwe, but it seems to be some weird country a lot of times. So they end up, going on a spending spree. You can go to your credit card company and say, hey, I did not make that transaction. And you can do what's known as a chargeback, basically. And that's based off your identity. That's based off the interaction that you've had related to your identity. This is very different. Your private keys are very different. It's not related to your identity. There's nobody there to replace funds. It's only tied to your private keys. Your private keys are everything. You have to keep them safe. That is paramount. The more money that you have in a Bitcoin wallet or a cryptocurrency wallet associated with your private keys, the safer you have to keep that wallet. There is absolutely no one. Unfortunately, there's all these advertisements for Bitcoin recovery tools, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is not legit. It literally does not work. That is not legit. If your Bitcoin, if keys are lost, how do you recover it? You can't, unless you have a 12-word phrase. 12, or I think it's even 24-word phrase. Now, there's a phrase that will come up sometimes when you're setting up a wallet, typically. If you have either the private keys or that phrase, now people often wonder why they come up with the phrase, because some people can remember those 12 words or 24 words, and they'll always, as long as they remember those words, they'll be able to get access to their wallet. But without that 12-word phrase, without your private keys, you cannot, I don't care how many comments you post below this video, you cannot get access to your wallet. I personally lost $1,000 like this a couple years back with a cryptocurrency called Ethereum. I actually posted a video about it, and I inadvertently deleted my wallet without grabbing my private keys. I thought I had the 12-word phrase, and I did not have it right, obviously. I did have a 12-word phrase, but somehow it was either to a different wallet or there was a mistake or something. It wasn't to a different wallet. It never worked, so I clearly had wrote it down wrong. So if you don't have your 12-word phrase or your 20-word, they call it your seed phrase, you're not going to be able to get access to your funds at all. Now, what's an easy way or a secure way to keep it safe? And I may do a video on the different types of wallets in the future, but your private keys the wallet, the whole idea behind a wallet is to be able to keep it safe. There's something called a paper wallet. You can Google that, or you can YouTube it, how to set up a paper wallet. It's a little bit more archaic. It's probably the most secure way to be able to hold your crypto. There are alternatives to a paper wallet that are also pretty secure. I would say almost as secure as a paper wallet. And that would be things like a ledger, what's known as a hardware wallet. The way this wallet works, the private keys are stored on the inside. There's the way it's set up, there's no way, or there should be, historically, there's never been any way for someone to gain access through the private keys. But it's a hardware wallet. It's not connected to your computer. This is better than, there are computers online, like for Ethereum, there's MetaMask. For Tron, there's TronLink. There's Exodus that you can use, and Crypto.com, and all these other different apps. There's app wallets, etc. But all those wallets are at far more risk for getting hacked or some sort of data breach that could occur, that could put your funds at risk. If you have a Ledger wallet, as long as it's in your hands, then as long as you have actual physical ownership of it, in 99.99999% of the cases, you're probably going to have access to your funds. But because your private key is actually stored on the wallet. So just a quick recap. Your private key, there's a saying that says, not your keys, not your crypto. That's because you can store Bitcoin on Bitcoin exchanges. But when you store your Bitcoin over here on a Bitcoin exchange over here, when you do that, that basically means that they have access to your funds. Literally, it's like sending your funds to your broker, your stockbroker. The problem is, in crypto, if you send funds to your stockbroker, that's connected to your ID. When you send funds to an exchange, you're literally just trusting that they're going to keep those funds safe. Yes, it can be connected to an ID in many cases, but there's no guarantee they're going to replace those funds if something happens. So people say, not your key, not your crypto, because there's been incidences where cryptocurrency exchanges have been hacked. They lost all the money on the exchanges, and people just lost their crypto. So you should never keep a large amount of cryptocurrency on any platform that is not a secure wallet. I make a lot of YouTube videos, and I store crypto in a lot of different places. But when it comes to dollar cost averaging, my hardcore long-term holdings, absolutely want to use a physical wallet of some sort, something similar to the Ledger. I'll put a link down in the description. It's not even an affiliate link. I'll just put a link down in the description. Anyone in crypto probably should own a Ledger wallet, or some comparable hardware wallet. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I made this video because I get a lot of questions about not your keys, not your crypto, how secure are things. If it's not a wallet, I don't care what platform it is. I don't care where you're investing. If it's not a wallet, then you have to understand that there's increased risk. And sometimes you have to accept that risk if you're going to invest in the crypto space. Unless you're going to buy cryptocurrency and hold it, and you're not going to earn a passive income with it, then you have to accept that risk. Now, if you want to start earning a passive income with cryptocurrency, but you're not ready to like trade it or invest in any of the dividend platforms or dividend tokens that I like to use, then what you can do is go down in the description. You can subscribe to our Crypto Passive Profits newsletter. In this newsletter, I give you several ways where you can start earning small amounts of cryptocurrency, totally passive without any investment, so you're not putting anything at risk. Now, if you want to earn big returns, obviously it takes on more risk. But the thing to keep in mind is anytime you send your cryptocurrency somewhere, or anytime you are storing your cryptocurrency on a platform that is not your own wallet, then what you're doing is essentially letting someone else hold that cryptocurrency with hopes that you get it back. Not your keys, not your crypto was a phrase coined by Andreas Antonopoulos, a real thought leader and educator in this space. And the whole idea is if you don't have absolute control and access to your private keys, then you have no 100% guarantee that you actually have access to your cryptocurrency until it is back in the wallet associated with your private keys. Remember, crypto equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.